August 9th. That was loud. 2017. Welcome back to another Philly podcast. Always have to adjust the mic volume as we start, but yeah, so welcome. We'll talk some Phils, baseball, and then we'll get into some football talk. We'll talk about the preseason game tomorrow, the very first preseason game for the Eagles. And before I get into it, the thing is, as much as the preseason doesn't really matter, and um, as much as we dwell on it, it's still nice to have football back. It's nice to have football back. It's nice that we're gonna be starting a brand new season, a brand new year of Eagles football and the NFL. As the preseason games begin this weekend, you'll see some of the starters. It's obviously not the same as the real thing, which will be on September 10th, but it's still a very good feeling to see the Eagles on TV and then me hearing Merle Reese call a football game. So yeah, and we can, obviously learn a lot of stuff about this Eagles team. Now, like I've been saying, where we will learn the most is when they play the regular season games, and that will be, obviously start on September 10th. Washington to play the Redskins, or go down to Orlando, Maryland to play the Redskins week 1. As we move forward, I want to get into some baseball. The Phils played a great baseball game last night against the Atlanta Braves. They really played good. With the 5-2 victory, Odubel hitting a home run into the what's that noise? A dishwasher. Okay. Odubel hit a home run into a restaurant, which was kind of nice to see. Nick Williams had a run or two. And how about that Zach Eflin? He went 7 innings last night. Got the victory. That's what I wanted to see from him last night. That's what every one of the Phillies fans wanted to see from him last night. Because he pitched a great game. After the game, in his last outing, on May 28th, I was at that game. I was in attendance. It was home run after home run after home run, and they were playing the Reds, who are sitting in last place in the Central. Remember, Schebler hit. Did Schebler hit 2? I know that the guy from South Jersey hit 2 in that game. Duvall hit 2. Schebler hit 1. I was back on May 28th, and that was just a brutal game to be a part, to be in attendance. Yeah. But, for him to come back on the hill last night and deliver was huge. And he wants to prove that he can be in the rotation next year. I know next year's going to be most likely a rebuilding year, unless if, some of the prospects come up and, it's like what the Yankees are in. But, as of right now, I expect next year's Phillies to be a rebuilding team. They still have a lot of ways to go in the bullpen, in the rotation. They still have ways to go in the bullpen. And, yeah, in a sense that they still have ways to go in determining who the starting 9 is going to be. I'm not saying, and no one has punched their ticket yet. No one has punched their ticket to be in the Phillies, to be in the starting 9 of the future, if you know what I mean. That's what I've seen. I haven't seen anything. I mean, you haven't. I mean, like, what I'm trying to say is, you don't have a guy that you're going to rely on in the future. As of right now, I mean, I think the one person that's really sticking out is Nick Williams. Maybe Herrera. We don't know what the shortstop situation is going to be because apparently J.P. Crawford's starting to heat up down in AAA, but Freddie's really excelling defensively at the shortstop position in the pros. Kingree's lighting it up in AAA, obviously, but yet you have Cesar. But I have not heard anything on what the deal is with Kingery trying to play third base because I don't know what they want to do with Franco. I mean, it's just we're gonna have to see what these players are like once they hit the big league level, which will be next month. I mean, that's how you're gonna do it. How can they adapt to big league pitching? How could they, do all that lovely stuff? You know, like how could they adapt to pitching? How could they adapt to the speed of the game? Sorry, I was thinking. Stuff of that nature. Jim Jacko says, talk about Gat. Well, all right. Maybe I would like to, maybe if we get a couple more viewers, I'll bring that up. Right now we have one viewer. Oh, finally, group chat. I literally forgot. Group chat action. Yeah, there you go. Group chat action. First time in days. Thank God. Jesus Christ. Maybe it's a 2 o'clock hour. Maybe the 2 o'clock hour is pretty good, and plus no one's home, so that's why I'm pretty energetic. Because usually when someone's in my house, I mean, it's just like, you gotta calm down. My mom works from home. My sister's running around. It's a little bit more peaceful when no one's home. So tonight for the Phils, it's another 7:35 start. Let's see. Oh my God. I was gonna tell you guys the pitching matchups for tonight, but I just saw Phillies special weekend, Phillies special players weekend uniforms feature dope hatless, lackluster jersey, and they show the hat. And this is something that I've been calling for years. A Liberty Bell hat. Okay, the jerseys aren't. The jerseys are right. Are they wearing these uniforms? Okay, so this is a thing from CSN Philly, written by Josh Ellis, and it says when the Phillies play the Cubs at Citizens Bank Park in a couple weeks, which is 25th, 27th of August, both teams are going to be looking very different. Oh, they are wearing these uniforms. So the Phillies are going to wear a Liberty Bell hat and a jersey, and it's almost like a classic jersey. It looks orange for some reason. I don't know. It's an off color. I'm not a big fan of the jersey, but the hat's just like that. That's a cool hat. That is a cool hat. Like the jersey's like, the old Brewers jerseys with the striped neck, and then it has a layer of white which covers the main part of the jersey, and then moves, and then like it's like half of it's like the sleeves are orange. Oh wow, this is kind of cool. This is really cool. Check that out. Phillies jerseys. All right. Anyway, let's get to the pitching matchup for tonight. If it ever loads. Eichhoff is on the mound. He's, obviously 2-7, 4.56. Newcomb for Atlanta, 1-6, 4.61. So, I mean, they're in the same neighborhood in terms of, yeah, they're kind of in the same neighborhood, except Eichhoff has a lower ERA, but should be a good pitching matchup, I guess. So that's that tonight's game. And then tomorrow they return home to play the Mets, and of which will be a 4-game series. And the Mets are just on a game last night, and they're playing right now. Let's check their thing. Oh, the Mets are getting spanked right now by the Rangers up in Queens. It's 5-1 Texas. Is there any other baseball scores right now? Is that it? Rockies and Indians are playing right now, and Cleveland is beating Colorado in the 7th inning. That's a 2-1 game. And then, obviously, like I said, the Rangers are beating the Mets in the top of the 6th. That is a 5-1 ball game. So, yeah. So, it's just, I think the MLB, with what I was just saying, is doing like a color rush thing. Isn't it like a color rush thing? They're doing one with all 30 teams. Is it Players Weekend? And then on the back of their jerseys is like all their nicknames. Players Weekend. So this is on Players Weekend from, obviously, like I said, the Phillies are playing the Cubs from the 25th through the 27th. So what this is now, I now figured out what it is. It's a customized uniform. It's like a color. It's like almost like MLB's Color Rush, and they use kind of like the alternate logos and stuff like that. And then on the back is their their nicknames. So, like, you have All Rise for Judge, KB for Chris Bryant, Mookie on the back of Mookie Betts, Longo for Evan Longoria, Yachty for Molina, obviously, Freddie for Freddie Freeman, Mr. Miami for Marcelo Ozuna, Miggy for Miguel Cabrera, Kutch for Andrew McCutcheon, like stuff like that. So, I mean, Manfred's just going a little too nuts with these uniforms, I'll tell you that. He's going a little too nuts. A little too crazy. But, I like this. I like these, but I think they should only... it's nice to do the Father's Day, the Mother's Day, the 4th of July, Memorial Day. But sometimes you gotta just go with the classics. I'm all right with these, but why can't they just sell these to the fans and just wear them in batting practice or something? I don't mind the Phillies one. I like the cap, but can't they just do this, like, wear these as batting practice jerseys? Oh my God. All right, so that's it for baseball talk. We will move into football. Eagles got a preseason game tomorrow against Green Bay. Now, 8 o'clock start. Is it on either NBC or CSM? What time? Where is it? Doesn't matter what channel it's on because, I go with Merle Reese every game. But so it's nice to see football back. Like I said, it's nice to see football back. It's nice to see the Eagles on TV. For me and for some other fans that like to turn the TV down and ditch those bonehead announcers and listen to the voice of Eagles football for the last 40 years. And there's something about that just like, I've only been listening to Merle Reese the last 2 years because I got the sync finally right with my TV. I finally got the sync right, and there's something about it. Like this, Merle is like one of the, in my opinion, I think he's better than any football announcer. It's probably Eagles bias, but I think he's a lot better than all the other boneheads. And then Mike Quick, which is always good because they are a very good. That's a very good crew right there. Hold on, what happened? So I really love listening to Merle Reese because I think they do a very good job. And then you have Howard Eskin, who's he was pretty good on the sideline. I've been doing the last couple of years, and I really like it because you don't have to listen to. If they're playing a 425 game, you don't have to listen to freaking Aikman and Buck, and then if Sunday Night Football, you don't have to listen to Collinsworth. Sunday Night Football is good. They just got to take Chris Collinsworth out of it. Why can't they just have Al Michaels do a solo broadcast, please? That's good. Or put Tirico in, I don't know. I know they like to have a former player as a color guy, but But anyway, back to the Eagles, who are getting ready for the game in Green Bay. We know that Wentz is going to play, which should be exciting to see him in the game. Obviously, you gotta. The line has to do their job to protect the shit out of him because what will be really shitty and would ruin the whole season if Carson Wentz gets hurt in the preseason like he did last year. But thank God that he came back in week 1 and tore it up against Cleveland, and that led to 2 more wins after that. Here's okay. So the game's going to be on NBC 10. Okay. Doesn't really matter. I just have to find out what channel it is, turn the TV down, and boom. Okay. Wonder who's going to play for Green Bay. That should be interesting. But all right, so okay. So as of Tuesday, Peterson, it says here on NJ.com, that Peterson was not ready to reveal who would and wouldn't be playing, but he did say that Wentz would start the game. We all know that. Is there any? This was from yesterday. Let's see. Sorry for my lack of preparation. So we know that Wentz is going to play. So that's one thing. I really don't think Jeffrey's going to play. That's me personally. I mean, they'll just have to put him in week 2 or week 3 of the preseason, and then call it that. So I want to see Aguilar and Matthews get some reps because we want to see who will play, who will show up. Starting week 1. Let's see. I'm still on NJ.com. See if there's any other Eagle stuff. All right, so we'll just kind of settle on that with Wentz is playing. No one's really giving me anything. There's nothing really. Hold on. Wait. Yeah, so there's really nothing telling me who. I mean, the only real player that we know, or I know, is that Wentz is going to play for in the preseason game tomorrow at Lambeau. I'll do more of a preview for that tomorrow. My post, I mean, usually come football season, I'm going to do pre and post games, and I don't think that will be on the regular podcast. I think that'll be on with something else. I don't like it. I won't throw it into the regular daily podcast. I'd probably do another video talking about that. I guess I will. I don't know. I still yet to figure that out. But I do know that for the preseason, I'm just going to preview and recap on the podcasts before and after. There's not going to be any type of halftime show, but come football season, I'm gonna most likely do on Saturday nights. I'm talking like late Saturday nights. I'm talking maybe do a NFL Sunday Eve type thing, like at midnight or 1 a.m. or something like that, so we can recap the Saturday of college football, and preview the day ahead in the NFL. So I mean, that's what I'll probably do come when that happens. But I've still yet to figure out what I want to do with that. So tomorrow, Eagles versus Packers, NBC, 8 o'clock. And then the radio is going to be on WIP. What else? I mean, I haven't really gotten a lot of listeners lately, so I've not really received any requests on what people want to talk about other than this video's been removed by the way. Oh god. Hold on. Back to what I was saying. No one's really kind of asked me what they want to like talk about or listen to, because no one's really been on. Which, I mean, people are busy. I'm not really getting my ass up in the air over it. I mean, this is a kind of a dead time. But it's really the only time I'm like able to do it. I'm kind of busy throughout during the nights. In turn, I mean, so we've only had limited viewers ever since I started going in the afternoons. But I mean, it doesn't really bother me. Like I said, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, obviously, people are busy. It's still the summertime. I hope, as soon as school starts, people come back and, maybe listen. But who knows? We'll have to figure that out. When that comes, when that happens. So Jim Jacko wants to talk about Gat. All right, well, all right, fine. We will talk about him. All right. I was waiting for a couple more viewers, but I guess I'll talk about him. All right, Gat got. If anybody doesn't know, Gat got 6 to 12 years plus 5 years of probation. That was announced last week. All right, so that's all I'll say about Gat. That's that. And so, he's the man. So, yeah, 6 to 12 years, 5 years probation. It's great. Little League World Series is starting up, and I haven't really watched that. The whole Taney thing went down, and apparently there's this big ass kid, freaking Boog. They call him Boog Powell. It's like 200 pounds. Oh god, what the fuck? My apologies. All right. Somebody was calling from like freaking Jenkintown, of all places. Anyway, so there was this big ass kid named Boog Powell in the Little League World Series or in the Little League Regionals or whatever the hell it is, and he's been the big talk. Whatever. I mean, listen. I mean, the Little League World Series. I stopped watching it come after the year after Taney. I just didn't like. I mean, now I kind of find it cringy. I mean, it's just there's nothing really entertaining about it anymore. I mean, listen, after Taney kind of set me off because Mo'ne Davis got way too much recognition. Now, I did hop on the bandwagon. I'll tell you that right now. I did hop on the bandwagon, but I look back on it and I realize, okay, they got so much more recognition because they were an inner city team, and you had Mo'ne Davis, who was a girl, and they were from the inner city. They weren't from the inner city. They all went to SH. They all went to Chestnut Hill Academy. They're not from the inner city. They didn't even win the thing, and then Nutter threw them a whole party. I mean, if they would have won, I would have gave them a parade down Broad Street. But no, Nutter just gave them a parade down Broad Street because they made it to the Little League World Series. And then now you find out all the new stuff, the stuff that, like after the World Series, you find out a team like brought in like a 15-year-old. Like Japan always does that, and Japan just, whenever you watch the final, it's always Japan or it's always Asia Pacific, and then you have people that bandwagon for them. And Japan, I mean, I just can't stand like the Japanese teams. I cannot stand them because that they cheat and they bring out some big kid. They bring out some 6'8", 280-pound kid who's clunking home runs like 500 feet. And plus all the bats are juiced. Like you're getting the XL1s, the Makos, the positive bats that you hit the ball like another 100 feet as opposed to you hit the ball with a normal like old school aluminum bat. All composite and shit. I mean, that's what kind of killed Little League. I mean, Like it's all a bunch of these kids just hitting bombs after bombs after bombs after bombs with these juice bats. I mean, that's all it is. So you have that star, and I really have no interest. Really have no interest. Um, so yeah. Then you have high school. Obviously college football, high school football. They're putting a new turf field at my high school, Springfield. They're putting a new turf field in there, and that's moving. You only have 2 home games this year. 2 home games. Now, I don't. I mean, I know they're very cautious because they don't really have a home field the whole year. But I mean, they don't know whether the field's going to be ready. I mean, I don't blame them for scheduling 2 games, but you should at least get like 4 if you're not going to have a lot of home games. And if the field's not ready, I mean, like schedule like maybe put one in maybe like September, and then put 3 more at the end of October, and have one be the homecoming and one be the senior night. I mean, but that's my two cents on that, and. So, but I'm glad high school football's back in this area. But. All right. Well, we'll talk about the. We'll prepare you guys for a preseason football game tomorrow. We'll probably be live at around this time, 2 o'clock. We'll be live. We'll talk about the Eagles, and we'll break down the Phillies game, obviously. But we'll really focus on the first preseason game of the season tomorrow. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.